Welcome to this explainer. Okay, if you've ever watched a kid sit in total unbroken silence for like an entire hour, just completely absorbed in a pile of tiny plastic bricks, well, you've probably wondered what kind of magic is happening in their brain, right? Today, we're diving into exactly why Lego is so much more than just a random toy preference. We're going to decode the brilliant psychology behind the bricks.
So let's start with a really big, totally relatable question. Why do kids love Lego so much? We're going to pull back the curtain here and try to solve the mystery of why this simple little plastic brick commands so much hypnotic attention from kids literally everywhere. It's not just about keeping them busy, you know. There's a very specific, very powerful pull at work here.
And that brings us to the core thesis of this whole thing. Lego rewards progress you can actually see. It's like this perfect balance of freedom and structure. It gives children a sense of control, but completely removes the anxiety of total chaos. It takes all that abstract thinking and turns it into something incredibly hands-on.
Okay, let's dive into Section 1, why it hooks attention, or the cognitive loop. Let's see how this toy immediately grabs a child's focus.
So, the brain basically goes through this incredibly satisfying rhythm of 3. Step 1, notice a pattern. Step 2, make a choice. And step 3, see an effect. It's this small, clear, and super satisfying cognitive loop. It gives a kid's attention something very specific to do without ever overwhelming it. There's a goal, sure, but absolutely no chaos.
Moving one level deeper, we have Section 2, the joy of making order, and what makes building feel good.
What's really fascinating here is that the brain absolutely loves a problem it can actually finish. When a kid looks at a giant pile of pieces, they aren't seeing a mess, they're looking at small, approachable problems. Things like, what fits here? Just fitting 2 pieces together gives the brain this immediate sense of closure. It's a lot like the sudden relief you get when you finish a corner of a jigsaw puzzle in your own head.
And then, we really can't talk about this without talking about the certainty of the click. Think about that physical feedback of a piece clicking perfectly into place. It's just like snapping a well-made lunchbox shut. Right? It tells the child with absolute certainty that the parts are perfectly matched. And in a world where so many things are vague or out of their control for kids, that simple click builds immediate confidence.
And all these tiny wins really add up. If you could give yourself X-ray vision into the child's mind, here's what you'd see. Physically, the child just experiences a piece clicking, maybe a section getting finished. But psychologically, the brain is receiving a powerful message. It's hearing, I succeeded, or I'm moving forward. These tiny physical wins stack up into deep, deep psychological rewards. It's highly meditative, honestly, kind of like the satisfaction of filling a notebook, line by line. Which brings us to this really fascinating concept. The hands actually help the mind. Building isn't just about imagination. The thinking is quite literally happening in the fingers and the eyes. Think of it like cooking, but with all your ingredients already laid out on the counter. You don't have to hold the entire abstract recipe in your head all at once, you just combine what fits. Well, this works the exact same way. The mind thinks by handling. Completion gives shape to effort. Actually finishing a build is incredibly powerful for a kid. At the very start, all those pieces are totally unrelated, but by the end, they have an identity. It gives children this tangible, physical proof that their time and their effort actually mattered. It creates a very grounded, quiet sense of pride.
Let's see how this builds into Section 3, different children, different meanings, or one toy, many satisfactions.
Kids interact with these exact same bricks in vastly different ways, fulfilling totally different psychological needs. Some are seeking the safety of structure. Others, they want the endless possibility of creativity, the skill of mastery, the clarity of order, or maybe the meaning of a story. Whether a child is carefully following the instructions step by step, or just ignoring them completely to build a giant neon spaceship, I promise you, no child is playing wrong.
For example, some kids just really want order. You might see a child spending their entire playtime just sorting the bricks. They're organizing by color, or by size, or shape. Now, to an adult, this might look like they're just delaying the real play, but actually, it's a massive cognitive relief. They are actively turning a noisy, overwhelming blur into neat, perfectly understandable categories.
And this brilliantly illustrates how surface behaviors map directly to deep, underlying human needs. If they're fixing mistakes, it isn't just about snapping a block back on. It's about building resilience and problem solving. If they're role-playing, that's all about developing social imagination. It is just this profound system of development disguised as playtime.
So now we zoom out for our final paradigm shift in Section 4, a window into the mind. The identity shift.
When a kid reaches for these bricks, they're actually seeking some incredibly profound things. They're looking for control when the world feels a little too open, or maybe calm when they just need something manageable in front of them. We have to remember that we are meeting the child at the level of thought here. It's not just entertainment.
The ultimate paradigm-shifting takeaway is this. Play is not just entertainment. It is a highly functional, absolutely crucial way that the developing mind organizes, processes, and really understands its daily experience. It's literally how children make a chaotic world legible.
I want to really hammer home this point. It is a window into the mind. The true magic here is that it serves as a physical anchor for invisible thought. The hands might be busy building a plastic tower, sure, but the mind is building confidence, structure, and emotional regulation right alongside it.
I'll leave you with this final provocative question to think about. How can you better support the invisible thought of the children in your life? Now that you can see past the toy itself and understand the complex system behind it, I really hope this leaves you eager to observe children's play with a calmer, kinder, and much more accurate lens. Thank you so much for joining this explainer, and keep exploring.